get my hair done, or at least put a protective style in. I just did a wash and then greased it, but I didn't really do shit. And now I don't want to waste the fact I just washed it by not doing shit. You feel me? So I'm trying to just do a little braid, just a little braid, nothing too serious. But I hope everyone's doing cute. Hope life is lifing in the best possible motherfucking way for a bitch. Truly, only good things, only blessings to you. What up, Shay? Hope you're doing cute. Hope life is lifing. But yeah, no. I know it's been a fucking minute, bitch. I just been trying to reassess energy, bitch. It's Capricorn season. As you know, I'm a Capricorn, so it's really been amazing. It's been amazing last couple of days. It's been crazy though. It's been amazing and crazy at the same motherfucking time, bitch. Two things can be true at fucking once. And I honestly feel like let me be, let me be. Bitch, I swear. Listen, I had made a spray, right? But the shit had solidified. So now that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing cup. But I had made a spray, but that girl is gone now, which is so fucking tragic. So we here. We are fucking here. But it's gonna be okay, bitch. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it, bitch. Honestly. Yes. All is not lost. It has to. If like it has to. And again, my spray bottle. Rest in peace to that bitch. Cause I gotta get that shea butter out of there at some point, but not today. It's just not aligning with the time. Anyways, I hope everyone's doing cute. Harry, we're gonna have to get you up out of here. We're not supporting Trump. Thank you for your time. Actually, no, I'm just going to get you up out of here forever. Ryan, it's been so long. I hope you're doing super cute. But yeah, no, I literally just want to come through and be social and hang out, do some hair. Chris, oh my God, it's been 1,000 years. I hope you're doing cute. But yeah, let me see. I feel like the last time I was here, I was talking about. I was on drugs. I was actually on mushrooms the last time I was here. And so I think in this moment, I'm just going to update you on the fact that, oh, this is my hair. I was like, what is in here? And it's shea butter. But yeah, no, the last time I was here, I was on mushrooms. It was a good trip. I felt bomb. I feel like I usually do a lot more mental strains than physical. So I enjoyed doing that last strain because it really did give me a good body sensation. And I lowest of keys and wondering what it would look like to microdose that for a month. So I think I may do that in the coming weeks, but don't hold me to it. I think the best way to do it maybe to make some mushroom ice cubes. I've talked about this before, but one of the ways I like to use mushrooms is I'll put mushrooms inside of a syrup that I made. So I'll cut up some strawberries, some lemon, whatever fruit you like, and you layer it with sugar and then put it in the fridge and you'll notice that a syrup starts to form on the top, and then that's when I'll throw some mushrooms in. And then once you have the mushrooms in there, you'll notice the mushrooms start to turn blue. That's when you know they're activated. But also the syrup is kind of also, and the sugar is sucking at that mushroom as well. And so you'll be able to like microdose it or make sodas, make drinks out of it. So I feel like that's really what I think I might do with it, just so that I can make something that'll give me a physical vibe, but I can also control the dosage. But I'm gonna be real with you. Once you put the mushroom and any kind of acid together, they're not really able to be calculated. Like I'm not trying to be dramatic, but once you drink a lemonade or you eat some banana, avocado, it's hard to know how much you really took at that point. So I would suggest if you're going to add anything to the mushroom trip and you are new, maybe start with a 0.5. That way, at most, you're doing maybe 2 grams if it triples, but I think for a lot of us, we want to do a 1 gram go-see, and that's not realistic with every strain. I actually was watching a video from this summer where I was talking to somebody in the chat who had taken some mushrooms, and I told them when I took them, I took a 1.2, and I'm almost 400 pounds, if not 400 pounds at this point. So I was trying to explain to them that strain shook me. You're maybe 200 pounds, maybe, and I'm being just a guesser. But I was like, I don't think that strain's gonna hit for you the same way. Yeah, no, if you take mushrooms or any kind of psychedelic that is a mushroom or cubensis or natalensis, because I know that there's different types of fungus, but they are definitely affected by lemon, by any kind of citrus, any kind of um I feel like, and see, that's the thing too. I feel like even watermelon, like high water content in the watermelon, definitely did something for the mushroom trip as well. And so there's so many things you can look into. And I want to also offer that there are some weed strains that are mimicking psychedelics. And so if you're not ready to take a mushroom trip, you may want to start with a cannabis strain that does mimic a psychedelic effect. That way you can figure out, is this something I'd want to be locked into for hours or not? Because with weed, yeah, it's gonna last a time, but you eat a good meal, take a nap, and you're Gucci. With mushrooms, it can last a little longer than you may want. Again, if you're new, take your time. Start with like a point one, point two, get a scale. You can go to a gas station, they have them for very cheap. Thank you so much, Caprice. I do feel so fucking beautiful. I feel so fucking grateful that I literally have hair, bitch, after all the things I've done to my hair. It's just wild. All the bleaching, all the wild things, all the things we've done to our hair. Isn't it wild that we still have it? I've been really feeling like Cynthia from the Rugrats. What up, Nine? I hope you're doing well. But yeah, no, I'm in the middle of just trying to do a little braid out. I wanted to hang out with y'all for a minute because it's been so fucking long, and it's not because I don't want to hang out. It's just been like Capricorn season just feels very sleepy. Saturn feels very sleepy. It's giving so loudly the last sign. It's giving so loud, like, or it's giving so loudly the oldest sign. Like, I feel like the oldest ancestor right now. My back is in perpetual pain, and I just want to sleep. I don't want to do anything. I'm literally out of energy. I don't have it. And so I feel like even getting it today, I feel like, again, like I said, I'm about to do my hair. So I figured, let's hang out while I do this shit and let's talk. Um, Not young Dwayne Johnson. I feel like Dwayne is cute though. Like, so I'm not even mad. I'm not even upset. No, Caprice. Caprice. It's the way I have no energy. My body is in pain, and all I keep thinking of is rest, restore, relax. Do what you got to do to make sure that you get in some care. I also want to say, for anybody out there who is experiencing, I don't want to do too much right now, but I want to say that, like, I fell this summer and had a, I don't want to say a dent, but it did feel like there was a dent in my leg. And like, I've been putting this high grade weed oil on it. And this is not an ad. This is just me trying to uplift for anybody out there who may be dealing with some leg pain, leg ailments, maybe pre-diabetic people. I just know it's something that I've been a little bit insecure about, because I feel like I've been trying to just, make sure I'm healing my body. And yeah, a dent, literally, like it was like like again, like there was something happening there, and I wasn't sure what to do about it. But I've been putting the oil on it, and that dent has filled in, and it feels so wild. Like, again, I've been putting it on my breast. I literally got some oil just because I wanted to just make sure that, like, if there was anything happening with my body, I was doing something about it. I'm poor as fuck. If I need something for medical, I go to the hospital. Like, I'm that kind of poor. I'm like I feel like I grew up with my mom saying, I ain't going to the hospital because literally that is what poor people do. Like we don't go to the doctor. We don't call doctors. We go to a hospital or we go to a clinic or we go to a school. And so with that being said, I was like, I just don't have like the money, the energy, the desire to even actually talk to somebody for real about this. I started taking care of myself in that way, and I've just noticed like my body feeling so much better. I'm not saying I still don't have chronic pain, that it's not healing in that way. It's not taking away chronic pain, babe, but it does do some repair to the body that again there's so much research about our cannabinoid our endocannabinoid system. Our body and weed actually are friends. We have receptors for cannabinoids, and not to mention there's cannabinoids in everything. Honestly, if I die tomorrow, this is one thing that I think is so important to share, that like when people use the Johnson baby lotion for the nighttime, the lavender one, there is linalool. Lavender contains linalool. You know what else has linalool? Indica weed. Indica weed has linalool naturally found in it. That is why lavender, when you burn it, it makes you so fucking sleepy. There is a cannabinoid in that plant. And so again, my fascination with plants goes beyond drugs, but it is fascinating to see that, lemons, like the skin of lemons have limonene. And so that's why when you smoke a sativa that's lemony, it's so uplifting. That's why lemon is so uplifting. Limonene is an uplifting a natural upper, a natural energy replacement. That's why lemon tea is so helpful for people, especially when they're sick or depressed. I also recently learned that when you are sick, and you know how people want to burn shit in the air to like make it smell better? You want to burn rosemary when you're sick because rosemary actually has antibacterial properties. And so when you're burning the rosemary, it's burning the fucking sickness in the air, bitch. So again, there's layers to plant medicine. Yes, I'm smoking roaches. Leave me alone. Listen, I'm in the middle of a re-up, but I'm waiting for Dane to get back, and I'm smoking all my fucking roaches because it's just that time of the motherfucking month, bitch. Worst time to smoke a roach. But if you don't have no roaches to smoke and you are roachless, I am so fucking sorry to hear that, bitch. Because honestly, when I'm down bad, at least I got a roach. Woo! A raw onion caprese better come through. Again, when people use that Johnson & Johnson baby lotion for the nighttime, it does have linalool in it, as does indica weed. But I want to push y'all to maybe start looking into what it is about the weed you smoke that helps you, and start looking into that strain and seeing what cannabinoids it has in it. Some of you may find that instead of a sativa, you may need a lemon tea, or even just a lemon tincture. Again, I'm not trying to say people need to stop smoking weed. I'm just saying there's things in the weed that's helping you. It's not just the act of smoking it. There are endocannabinoids, and inside of our body, there are systems that want weed, but not necessarily you to smoke it. Clock that. Our endocannabinoid system don't necessarily need you to smoke the linalool for you to get it. You can put it on your body as a salve. Word. I'm crying. Meryl Streep, you know what? I'm here for the cultural connection. I'm here for you knowing like where the onion came from. I'm here. I actually have never heard the onion thing. If anybody wants to share more about their tradition of the onion, I'm interested. I'm very nosy. But yeah, no, I think the last couple of weeks have been just like really sleepy and really cozy, and also I've been playing Sims again, so it's been very easy to just be like, bye. I've been taking so many naps. It's been so beautiful. Also, a couple lives ago, somebody asked me about the ninth house. And I'm going to be real with you. I am very ignorant to my birth chart. I feel like I know about stelliums. I know about Black Moon Lilith. I know about a couple things, but I really feel like I don't know enough, so I don't really talk about it. I feel like I definitely have said before that your birth chart is a tarot spread, which it really is, but I feel like I haven't really gone in depth, and I've been doing that recently. And one thing that I learned is that the ninth house is actually ruled by Sagittarius, which again goes back to my Sag Moon, Nine of Wands. Like I just feel like I keep on getting like reminders of like why I chose my name, what the nines mean, and where it's coming from. And just again, just hearing about the nines and the Sagittarian or Jupiterian energy and that. Also doing more work to figure out that I have a Cancer stellium as well as a Capricorn stellium, which is so beautiful because I really never thought about how much Cancer is in my chart. I really thought I only had one Cancer placement. It turns out I have three. And so with that being said, finding a Cancer stellium in the third house, bitch, in the house of motherfucking learning, in the house of motherfucking teaching, in the house of motherfucking education. You're the shit. I appreciate you. Weird. Yeah, I don't really take a lot of naps either, but it's been recently I have been. But I think that again, it's because we're in Saturnian time. Saturn is the slowest sign. Capricorn is the slowest sign. The slowest energy is Capricorn. Pentacles, very slow. And so I think right now it's very hard for people to process that there's all this information and we ain't got no bandwidth for it, bitch. But it's not your fault. I can be smoking on the internet, Kirsten. It's okay. You're gonna survive. Anyways, bitch, can we talk about how my mom sent me a birthday card? That was literally just a thank you card. I like listen, this lady funny as fuck. She wrote, "Happy birthday, Tatiana. Love you, boo," with a heart. And then she wrote, "Missing you, Tatiana. Praying this helps," because she did put some money in it, bitch. Thank God. And she wrote, "Have a happy new year. Love, mommy." The white lady. Swear. She wrote the white lady on the bottom. I fucking screamed when I read this shit. And she told me on the phone that she had wrote something kind of spicy in the message. And I was like, because I'm only opening it for the money, bitch. So don't fucking tell me you don't wrote some crazy shit up in there. But me opening it up and seeing the money and then reading the white lady, bitch, I fucking was like, ah! That bitch is funny as hell. Like I honestly feel like my mom, like she always brings it back. Even though I really don't be liking her ass, she always be making me laugh. I almost want to call her ass today and laugh, but it's like, no, bitch. I'm gonna starve her. I want more money. Listen, if you don't have a parent that's evil, you're not gonna get it. You're not gonna get it. If you're an evil parent, you're not gonna get it, but it's coming for you too, bitch. Oh my god. Honestly, bitch, like no contact, but I will accept some money. No, she's really not well, but I appreciate her. No, exactly. No, exactly. No, exactly. Like the spirit of a delusional white lady lives inside of me. It's tough. It's tough. It's not easy. So definitely. Like I feel like if we all become our mothers, that's terrifying. Honestly. I feel like at this point I already told y'all like my new book is gonna be called like My First Cave. And it's gonna have me walking outside of a white woman's vagina, like literally walking, like literally like the legs walking out. And it's gonna say my journey through the cave system of white vaginas. And I'm hoping to anger some white ladies. I'm very hoping for that. Praying on a couple of death threats. You know what I mean? Just want to push my back. Just kidding. I know it's trash. But I'm just saying. For like, I know the white ladies are gonna be very upset, bitch. And I'm hoping so. I'm really hoping so. Just praying on a little bit of, just praying a little bit of Fox News coverage. And, I just want to go viral talking about my time. My times, and I want to look war torn when I'm coming out of the white vagina. I want to look like I'm finally freed, honestly, and I'm gonna just, I think inside the book, it's just gonna be a bunch of like very bad slam poetry from other biracial people and like other like wayward mixed people, and I want it to be available on audiobook as well. So I want people to just get into it. Again, there may be multiple books, but again, I want to have a good time. I just want to have fun. Exactly. I want to give a candid conversation because here's the thing. Here's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for like the white women who have brown children. Like that's what I'm writing for. I'm writing for them. I want them to realize like how serious the shit is, but I also want to be like, LOL. You know what I mean? I also want to laugh. So I feel like it's gonna be part funny, part devastating for white women with brown children. Yeah. That's my plan. It could also be a comic book. Who knows? I may hit up Marvel. You never know. There might be a superhero in all this. I don't know. Once Disney calls me, I'm off the project. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I hope you could hear the smile on my tone. I hope you could hear the joke. But if not, this is all funny. This is not me being serious. This is me just being like, haha, like, you know, because you know Disney's gonna make me a tiger or some shit. Like you know Disney's gonna make me like a sentient piece of grass or some weird shit. I'm just saying. Like let's be real. Disney's gonna be like, and look, it's a shark. I'm crying, not an adult book. I'm screaming. I want I want people who are not white to laugh. Like I feel like that's my desire. I feel like when you think about it that way, I want it to be a joke for everybody, but I want white people to walk away from it quite unsettled. And I think that that is like where I want anything I create to go. I want white people to be like, Meanwhile, everybody else is like, LMAO. Whoa. What the hell? That's silly as hell. I'm just saying, like, I just feel like they're going to turn me into something weird, and then they're going to be like, but there's a couple $1 million behind it. It's going to be hard to pass up, but I want you to know for the integrity of the project, I won't, but I honestly probably will, and then I'm going to disappear. And then the next time you see me, I'm going to be like somewhere on the coast of an island. I'm probably at that point going to be emaciated, and it's going to be hard for you to want to keep on sticking with this, but that's okay. I'm joking. I don't know if that's getting funny. But again, I feel like I've seen it before. I've seen people they do something really crazy. Next thing I know, they're on an island. Next thing I know, they're emaciated. Next thing I know, they're walking around with seashells, and I'm just like, how did it come to this? I don't know. Nobody knows. Disney probably. Absolutely, yeah. No, I want white people not to laugh. I feel like that's the thing. I feel like a lot of content be making white people laugh. I feel like when you think about Get Out, like there was a lot of like energy around uh who the content was for. Listen, me trying to compare myself to Donald Glover in any way. This is me just trying to offer that his content made a lot of black people excited to be in the theater again, even though they knew that black people were going to be harmed. They knew it wasn't what they thought, if that makes sense. And so in this, I don't want anyone black to be harmed. I want it to be a situation where like the people that are harmed in this content, and that's the thing too. It's like, am I creating something to harm people? No, and I feel like that's another layer to this. I don't want anyone to be hurting, but I do want white people to be like disturbed. Is being disturbed hurt? I don't think so. I think being disturbed can be uncomfortable, but I don't think it's being hurt. And I feel like that's the spirit. Is my spirit is like, I want you to think. I don't want you to like leave and go to your shame. But I don't get that. I don't get that choice. You can't really choose how the audience eats something up. So I have to consider that. I did want to ask for the people that are here, do people care about Beyonce anymore? Just because I feel like I've seen a lot of critiques about her being dragged for like trying to like pimp out her fan base. And I've seen a lot of critiques about her doing way too much, selling and not enough performing and communicating with her fan base. And I'm just wondering, like, after all of the Jay-Z stuff, after Mama Tina been doing all this that she's doing, I'm wondering what people think. Thank you. Honestly, that means so much. I did a chop recently, and I feel like I did like a braid out so that I could like see my length. Cause like you ever just like have moments, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this, but I just want to be candid that like in the natural hair journey, there are definitely times where you feel like your hair is growing, and there's definitely times where you feel like something happened. And I feel like talking about that tragedy, talking about something happening to your hair, talking about something hurting your hair, that can be traumatic. And I want to be candid that like I made a mistake when I was bleaching my hair. And so I immediately rushed to hide my hair from the bleaching. And so I feel like I showed this a while ago, but I tried to bleach my hair, but the ends were black. And so the ends are still black, but some of it bleached. And so that's why I wore that braided style for so fucking long because I was just like, what the fuck are you gonna do, bitch? And now I'm realizing like it looks just fine. And it was gonna look just fine even if I didn't put that style in. But I am having a moment where I want to like put a protective style in, and I literally just had one. So I was like, bitch, braid it out, make it as big as it can be. Touch it, love it. Remember that, like, your hair is alive, it's living. It hear you, bitch. You know what I mean? And I was watching a video where I was talking about my hair, and I was talking about how, you know, having a white passing mom treat my hair like a battle, and then also treat it like it was just too expensive to care for. Those are things that stick with us, unfortunately, as we grow. And so there are times where I really don't want to do nothing to my hair because I am expecting a battle. I'm expecting some like long, industrious task. And again, I think that that's another reason why I came here and came to kick it. Because like sometimes taking care of ourselves can feel so fucking isolating, especially when we don't have the desire to do it. So yeah, bleach is terrifying. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, no, I've been caring for it a lot. And also, like, Dane bought me some shea butter and I mixed it with some coconut oil. And I'm so grateful. I made this really amazing hair product that my hair is obsessed with. My hair loves this stuff and it smells so good. And I'm so fucking grateful that I have access to butter because that's one thing that I'm noticing as I get older is that my hair needs more than oil. It needs more than just, something from the beauty supply. And also, I found this black woman who's a hair scientist, and I've been sharing a lot of her content. If you go to my story on Instagram, I've actually been posting a lot of her content because some of the stuff she's been posting about synthetic hair and perms and all types of things that a lot of black women have been using since they were young, since their mothers and their mothers were using, just talking about all types of things. And I've been looking into black hair chemistry because I know that that's information that I need. And I know there are so many folks out there who are still trying to seemingly, work with their hair, but they're not necessarily getting the correct information. And again, hair is ancestral. If somebody don't teach you how to care for it properly, why would you know? And what's worse is why would you know how to love your hair if no one taught you how to care for it properly? And so I'm having to remember that loving my hair is going to take the rest of my life. I was not instilled with that care and concern. And then when I had the ability to care for my hair, I chose to care for a wig. I chose to care for somebody else's hair. And I chose to focus on that hair over my own. And so for the rest of my life, I would have to really focus on my shit. And I'm not saying I'm never going to wear a wig, bitch. I'm not saying that. Did I say that? No. What I'm saying is I have to really start asking myself, hey, last couple weeks you've been wearing a protective style. Like, can we give that kind of love and attention to our real hair? Like you just been doing edges and that's been helping you with time management, just having to take care of the edges. Love that. But now what can we do to strategically take care of our hair for the next 3 weeks? How can we strategize that? And so that's where my brain is at. Um, I agree. I agree. I agree with you. Um, Yes, yes, yes. My hair also needs thick, creamy, buttery things as well. And again, my hair when I came here, it was stretched out because I did a braid out. And now it's getting curlier again. It's feeling so alive, so healthy. And it was always alive, but again, sometimes when my hair is really, really, really stretched out and I don't see the curl, it does kind of bother me. Like there's times where I want to see the length, but then when I'm seeing the length, I'm like, but where's the curls? It's such a silly thing, but I think I'm in that mid mindset where I'm still colonized in my thinking. I'm still, worried about hang time and shit. But at the same time, I'm also remembering that I like to see my hair. I like to see my hair doing what it wants to do. And if my hair wanted to be straight, it would be, wouldn't it? My hair clearly don't want to be straight. It clearly wants to curl up. Clearly likes to, be covered in thick, creamy butters and oils. And it also likes to be left the fuck alone. But with that being said, I have been following this black scientist who has been talking a lot about black hair care. And the things that she's been sharing have been slightly traumatic and triggering. So I want to be candid that even getting into her content, it does take a little bit of it does take a little bit of priming. I'm not going to lie. Like there have been some things that I've shared because I've been so excited that someone is talking about this. And in my excitement, I did forget that this could be quite triggering for folks who may not be ready to give up these styles or even think about transitioning out of using certain products. I know some people that I'm really close with recently. They've been confiding in me about going back to perms, even though there's all this information that would suggest that perms are actually quite harmful. There are a lot of older women who are going to perms right now. And I just want to say for everybody out there who is choosing to perm, I love you. And I'm sorry. Like, I'm so sorry that, like, we're living in this climate where that's what seems, easier. I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. I'm not about to condemn nobody and make nobody feel bad. For what? Like, we live in an anti-black world that literally hates black hair. I understand why somebody would take on a risk in order to not have to confront that hatred on every day, all the time, one on one. And I have to be candid that as I embrace my hair more and love my hair more, I have to also be real that like the texture of my hair and the color of my skin is what's also happening at the same time. I can't divorce those things. And so people will have way more grace for me to love my hair and will give me more space to love my hair than someone with kinkier, coilier texture and also someone who's deeper, darker skin. And I want to also be super candid that the women I'm talking about are black women. There's not one woman of color who's not black that's talking about going back to perms. And so I want to be candid that I understand that I don't understand, and that even though my mom permed my hair at some point, I never felt the need to go back to that shit. And it's mainly because I was using wigs. And I think that even now, like when I use protective styles, I think at the end of the day, we all use protective styles for our own reason. I think for some of us, it's because we're not comfortable with our hair texture. I think for some of us, it's because we don't want to do the labor. For some of us, it's because we like that style and that's what we want to do. I think for some of us, it could be all of those things. I think that there can be so many true things at one time that it can be quite hard to ever look at anybody and be like, why are you doing this? So many reasons. So again, I don't want to make it seem like I don't understand where people are coming from because again, I'm holding that I don't understand everything, and that even though anti-blackness is again on a lot of people's necks and called different things, when we're talking about perms and shit, we're talking about misogyny, and we're talking about the ways people really do want black women to assimilate into a certain hairstyle in order to feel comfortable. Not for the black woman to feel comfortable, but for everyone else to feel comfortable. And then again, sitting with like that discomfort from others when again there are black women who have their own discomforts that are outside of white supremacy, but also within, if that makes sense. Like there are black women that have conversations about their hair that have nothing to do with the colonizer. But again, getting to that conversation means also holding that we do not know. Like we do not know why anybody does anything, but also we can't sit here and in good faith say we don't see why white supremacy is on people or why people are reacting to white supremacy and not necessarily doing things because they want to do things. Oh wow, Caprice, I love to hear that. Would you mind sharing her name? Maybe it's the same person. I hate that I'm blanking on this person's name. I want to say their name is not on the account. I want to say it's a very long name that's not their name. I could be lying though, bitch. I don't want to be lying to you. So I'm just gonna say, look at my story. When you leave here, I'm definitely posting that. There's also a button on my Instagram on Fat Beep, FATBEEEP, called Anti-Blackness, and it has like a person with a mask on it, just to kind of show like anti-Blackness in medical spaces. Because again, I'm sharing a lot of content about anti-Blackness in medical spaces, but a lot of massage and war, a lot of anti-Black women, medical racism, and so I don't want anyone to feel super triggered. And so, with that being said, the button is on the page just in case you ever want to peruse. But I am trying to share in the story. I am trying to offer trigger warnings because again, this shit is fucking wild. Like it's wild to read that like buying pack hair could be causing you cancer. I'm sorry, but that fucked up my week. Like I'm actually still not okay. Like I'm actually still not okay. Like hearing that black women, 25% of black women who are in childbirth are being forced to get C-sections in order to steal money from them. In order to steal money from them, are being put in risky procedures to steal money. And so like that makes you really think about the birth rates and the decline and just all the ways that like there's layers upon layers of medical racism, bitch, and it's always coming out. And again, I rarely see white scientists talk about anti-blackness or misogyny war. And again, finding black scientists who are willing to share their content and deal with people being annoying, because I feel like that's another thing too. I don't think that's the same person. I think I feel like now we have two. So just thank you for that. I'm definitely going to be posting their content as well. No, I'm sorry to hear that. And that's the thing too. It's like was it really her choice? Those are things I think about when it comes to anti-blackness. Like, is it anybody's choice really to assimilate? Like, is anybody really choosing this shit? And I don't think so. I think that even though some people would say that you are, I think about how some of us aren't allowed to decolonize. Like some of us are more encouraged to decolonize than others. I'll say, or some of us have more access to decolonizing than others. And so I'll say that like I can't compare myself to anybody, and I don't want to. But what I'm trying to offer is that with or without a wig, I still have worth, and I know that. But also, the world is not telling me I don't have worth without a wig. The world, in fact, is still seeing me as valuable. Like it's wild, like in ways, like to notice like how people are like, oh, I really like your hair, or being kind about my hair because I feel like I spent a long time trying to uh, beautify in this way where I was holding on to the beauty aesthetic of wigs, of just lengthism, because I feel like that's really for me like my own my own personal struggle with hair is like I've always felt like my hair was really short. And even when I look back at this like last summer, not the one that just passed, I'm like, damn, my hair was long as fuck and I didn't even notice. And the ways that like I can't like it's like I feel like it's hard to see yourself really. Like I don't know what that is, but I think like on some body dysmorphia shit, like I really don't think I even know what I look like all the time, because there's times where I'll look back at a photo and I'll be like, damn. And I hate that because again, like you like to think that that you can see yourself clearly, but there's definitely times where like I look back and I'm like, damn, like I looked good in this thing, or that the whole time I was like, I think you look terrible. Like, you know what I mean? And then there's moments where you look back and you think, damn, I thought I was looking great. And like, like at this point, you're just like, hmm. And I feel like it's rarely that. It's rarely like I'm looking back at myself and I'm hating on myself. But I think a lot of times, like I don't realize like how much like I really like could have been nicer. Like there's definitely a lot of times where I'll look back at old videos and be like, damn, like I really wish I would have hugged myself on that day or like would have done something extra nice for myself because, and then even sitting with that thought that like I'm seeing like something in myself like that I should have like been more aware of at the time. It's just like, my God, give it a rest. But just be wanting to time travel so fucking bad. Just like relax. Like it's great if you realize like you're worth caring for no matter what. But to get there sometimes take a long time, bitch. So that's what I'm trying to say. That's where I'm at. But yeah, no, I said I was gonna do my hair. I'm clearly a liar. I just feel like I want to, but I feel like just in my energy right now, I just don't think I'm in the space to. I think I was in the space to just hydrate it and just feed it some water and some energy and some attention. And I think that's okay. I think I don't really have nothing to do until tomorrow evening, so I feel like I might just let her live. I feel like that's something I'm not doing enough. A lot of times, it's just letting my hair live. I always want to put a style in. Always want to get it ready for the next event. Don't ever want her to be in the moment. So I think that's what I'm gonna focus on right now. Is letting my hair live in the moment and not be focused on, you know, just causing her any pain. I am not still in the hat shop. I was in the hat shop in like 2016. Yeah, it's literally almost been 10 years, but I appreciate you for remembering the hat shop. We appreciate you. Long time listener. We love it. But yeah, no, I feel like again, just caring for our hair can be a motherfucking political statement, which is so tragic because I think it speaks to how much is out there to not care for our hair. I really was. I really was. I just feel like at this point, bitch, getting a job scares me because I was actually reading that my black moon Lilith was in Libra, and apparently, apparent fucking Lee, bitch, the motherfucking black moon Lilith and Libra, she don't really like to be a partner. She don't really like collaboration. And again, the sign in Libra is we are, right? But the Black Moon Lilith in Libra is, well, first of all, let's start with Lilith. In the lore of the earth, Lilith was Jesus's or God's first wife. And she dipped out. She was like, fuck it. I ain't made for this. And so your Black Moon Lilith showing up in your chart in certain places can be, just your little rebellion. But it could also be where rejection is living in your chart. And I also think that that's funny that I keep on, dating Libras and that my Black Moon Lilith or my rejection and my pain is in Libra because I keep on meeting them and having very painful experiences that are good in retrospect. Like the pain is a good pain, but it's hard to realize that at the time because it's pain none the fucking less. But the older I get, the more I realize that we're not supposed to experience no pain. That would be unrealistic. Sometimes you experience pain because you actually gave a fuck about something. Like sometimes like your pain is because you were present, not because like you deserve to be hurting, but because you actually cared about something and maybe it's leaving, maybe it's changing, maybe it's no longer loving you back. Like whatever the case may be, like sometimes pain is information. I think all pain is information, but sometimes pain is more informative of like how much there was before maybe, or how little there is now. But we're just realizing that we're not supposed to motherfucking be pain free. That's silly. We're gonna have pain in our life. That's real. But how do we move with it? How do we allow it to be a part of us in a way that honors it, that actually allows us to move with it? We're not gonna always be laughing and smiling, babe. Like sometimes we're gonna have days where we really feel like we should not be here. But what's telling us that? But what's more important, I think, is what's telling us we should stay. Who's telling us we should stay? What hobbies or communities actually pour into us and tell us that, we're so necessary and we're so important. We're such an important ingredient in this pot. So keep that in mind. Everything you think ain't real, babe. Everything you think ain't real. You can really sit there and think the meanest things about yourself, but that's not my experience. I think you're cute as hell and you're cool. So now what? And I know what I think don't really fucking matter, but low key, sometimes if you get some more information, you might start realizing, I'm just one source. And you might be too close to the material. Like, you might be really standing too close to yourself to realize, like, you're a bad bitch. And your best friend, your mom, your granny, your neighbor, that person you met off the internet, they actually will tell you, like, I actually only see light in you. I actually only see, like, goodness in you. I actually only see love in you. Am I bad for saying light? Because I feel like every time I be using that word, I be forgetting that, like, words are honestly, unfortunately, dichotomic. And so sometimes when we be saying light, we be really reaffirming colorism and we be fucking forgetting that shit. So I'm trying to just say that right now so I remember in the future because I've definitely done that recently. And I really hate the idea that we use light as a synonym for good because a lot of those light skinned people be demonic. And people don't ever be saying that light skinned demon. I don't see that enough. Like a biracial girl told me she was part Lucifer. So I just want to say, in my travels, I've seen some shit, friends, and so I just want to offer from my travels what I've seen. Now, with all that being fucking said, bitch, I know my shit looking flat on one side, but I feel like it's because I cut the fuck out of the middle like real crazily. But baby, I can't wait to fucking braid it up. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go play some Sims and cozy game with my boo. I'm definitely gonna breed later. I'm probably gonna do some tarot card readings, honestly, also. Thank you. I appreciate you, Focal. But thank you for everybody that came back and returned. I've been posting links to the live on my Instagram where I know some people have found my ass again. Hey, bitch. I wanted you to come back here. But yeah, no, I'm probably gonna braid her tonight. If I don't braid her, let me not say I'm probably, because I definitely am, bitch. Me and Dane can only code the game for so long, bitch. Honestly, we're about to start a Sims family. I'm so excited. His sim and my sim are about to start a Sims family. I'm gonna probably post about it on Instagram if you give a shit about Sims. But bitch, my afro feels so fucking nice. Feels so healthy. Oh my god. Yo, I want to dye my hair so fucking bad, y'all. Like literally, I want to dye my hair so bad. Like I want my hair to be fucking orange again. But I just seen you with green hair recently, and I was like, damn, I want some green hair. And then, oh my god, yo, I'm mad that I'm blanking on her name. But there is this black femme who creates the coolest fucking wigs. Yes, my lighter is affected by shea butter, it's true. But she did this thing with these braids that had me like, yo, and that's all. I just feel like braids be so boring sometimes. And then let a black woman just pop up on your timeline and you're like, hold on one moment. She literally took the braid, right? And then she put some jewels in it. Like, I wish I could explain it better. Like, I have don't judge me for having a random piece of weave right here. But bitch, I was about to try to do some like faux locks, and then I told myself, like, bitch, you literally just had fucking a protective style and like, please calm down. But she literally took like the jewel, like let's say the jewel was in the middle, and then she wrapped the hair around the jewel, and then wrapped the hair and the jewel like this, right? And then took a fucking needle and thread and had the jewel in the fucking braid. Sweetie, it was the most beautiful thing I've seen in so long. I was like, bitch, it's the way I cannot wait to fucking tag the creator and be like, thank you, bitch. Because honestly, like this really got me excited. I can't wait, but I'm plotting, I'm waiting. I feel like I'm gonna let my hair be. Just try to braid her, keep her protected. I'm trying to keep my bonnet on at night. You feel me? That's where I'm at. I'm just trying to keep her as safe and protected as possible. And play her some music. Like I really am trying to just do different things with my hair because I feel like I was never given the proper and appropriate and loving ways to care for myself. And I feel like again, I know I'm not the only person like who's old as fuck trying to figure out how to care for themselves. Like I know I'm not. And again, like, I don't expect to get it right. I don't expect to know. I expect to be really bad at this shit in the beginning. And so I'm hoping that on this journey, other people feel comfortable to be like, you know what, I didn't know this or that, or I didn't know, or I wasn't taught how to do this or that, and are just being candid about how maybe they're teaching themselves now. Like, I'm really trying to get into sewing because one thing that's really bothering me and my homegirls is just how much like clothing waste is out here. Like, there's so many fabrics that like are good for us to put on our bodies. Like, ugh, I just get so annoyed thinking about all the clothes that's just like not making us feel good. It's them twins, Polly and Esther, bitch. And what can we do? And so I'm just in that space where I'm just thinking about clothing and like sewing and knitting and like art and like there's just so much. And so again, I know that loving myself, treating myself better is about to take me a long fucking time, but I'm excited, bitch. I'm excited. I have a lot of joy and trying to treat myself better. But yeah, I know 35 has started off sleepy. 35 has started off very emotional. I've cried every day this year, starting last year. And so I'm just trying to remind myself that it's okay and I'm gonna be okay. Low key, damn, I thought Dane's do rag was still out here. Let's put that shit on. Thank you so much. No, sewing is so therapeutic. Like, I really have so many projects that I want to work on, and me and Dan were talking about turning this room into like an art room, a music room. They actually play a lot of instruments, and so we're gonna jam together a couple times, which is exciting. And I'm excited to do art with them. Like, I'm excited to be more creative moving forward, and just connect more with folks. And I don't know. Like, I think the last few weeks have been just feeling so overwhelming that January just feels so silly. Like, how did we get here? Like, I barely remember December. Truly. Like this, like I just feel like December never feels long to me because I feel like I'm spending the whole time like trying to ignore my birthday. And then when it comes, I'm like, oh my god, my birthday is here, and then it's January. Like, it's so disorienting to like spend the entire year waiting for your birthday. I just feel like that's why like the new year never feels like it begins at my birthday. Like, I feel like I genuinely, on some other fucking nature shit, I genuinely have always felt like April, spring is the beginning of the year. I've always naturally felt that and was always just so weirded out that like we're supposed to be starting the year in the ice. And so I'm grateful to like be returning back to like that indigenous and natural way of knowing. Like, our earth literally knows, like, bitch, it's time to sleep. Like, our earth is like, stop, like stop trying to be so ambitious. Like, lay down, bonfire, you know what I mean? Like, eat soup. Bake breads, that's like warm the home with some meat in the crock pot, like it's that time of year to really slow down on purpose. It's really a natural thing. You're nature. You're part of like you're part of all this stuff. The earth, you're part of the rain, you're part of the river, you're part of the all the systems of connectivity in the land. Like, that's us too. And just like it seems like all the grass is dead and gone, it's not. It can't be. It won't. So you can't be dead either. But you are resting. I don't disagree with you. I do feel like there are some people who are not experiencing pain or grief, and I'm grateful. Like, there's a part of me that feels like those people are necessary too, because those people that don't understand, I've noticed like they're kind of like either going to help or they're not. I feel like it's very much this or that with those people. The people that have gone through pain, I feel like same thing. I feel like some people have gone through pain to the point where they don't want to help anyone and they don't want to deal with pain, so they're going to stay as far away from you and the pain you're going through as possible. Like, there's layers. I'm not demonic. I'm sitting by my window. I'm screaming. I'm screaming. I'm fucking crying. It's hard. It's hard. Again, I wouldn't wish pain on nobody. I feel like that's the thing about it. Like going through pain is definitely going through pain. I don't think it's necessary. I really want to put that out there right now. I don't think anyone should have to suffer. I don't think our suffering was ever necessary. But we have suffered, and I feel like we must honor that reality. And I feel like there's a difference between honoring our pain and also wanting other people to know it. I feel like that's the thing. Some shit's unknowable. I feel like that's such a sacred thing to know that some shit is unknowable. Bitch, I wish I could roller skate. Like my goal for this year is to like really do something daring. And I feel like I was trying to longboard and I was getting kind of good, but then I got scared about breaking any of my bones. Because at that point I was like single as fuck. And I was like, if I'm single and I'm like rollerboarding or skateboarding rather, and I break my legs, like, who's gonna help me? Like, I literally was like, hold on. Like, I literally stopped that day and was like, nah, because I'm getting more and more confident on this board and I'm about to start trying to do tricks and then, like, let me get hurt. No, God. And so I feel like at this point, I'm gonna be so fucking for real. Having a partner that I know will care about me, like, if I break my legs, like, does impact this. Like, I'm gonna be so fucking for real. Like, some risks, I think, like, it's harder to take when you know, like, you're by yourself in that. And some risk, like having the support, having community, you're like, you know what? I actually may be able to attempt this. And even if I don't get it right, it's not going to be the end of the world. But not having that support, it don't even matter if it won't be the end of the world. It would be the end of like you in some way. And I can't even imagine like having two broken legs or even one and trying to still care for myself. Like so scary. But again, I'm grateful that I'm not thinking in that way. I'm grateful that I'm thinking about things I could do because I do have support and care in my life. And I'm hoping that folks know like it doesn't have to be a romantic partner. It could also be a neighbor. It could also be a person in your community who, again, cares for you and wants to show up. Um, I think it's harder again, like to attempt certain things when you really feel like you only have yourself. And so I really hope that this year more folks are feeling safer to reach out for connection. It's a 9 year. Nine is the number of completion. Nine is when you look at it, it's a head full of knowledge. And again, we're in the age of I know Sagittarius, Jupiterian energy. That's nine. Like dealing with Jupiter energy in Aquarius is going to be hilarious because again, our era is aqua, meaning like the things around us are going to be telling us a lot of information all the time. But the spirit of this season, of this year, this time, this finite amount of time, 365 days, we're getting a circle of Jupiter. And again, we're getting a piece of Jupiter spirit in a time where we're dealing with Aquarius spirit, which Aquarius energy is very unimpressed. They're very unimpressed because again, the more you know, the more you're aware of, the more information you have, the more moves you can make, more options you can perceive. And so again, we're in a time where people are constantly, perceiving other options being possible, which is exciting. But Aquarius tends to like hold their emotions outside their body, and that can make you a really strong fighter. Like Aquarius people are really strong because they're able to detach emotionally, and if you're not emotionally being led, you can absolutely do a lot. You can get a lot done when you don't care what happens. When you're not focused on the feelings of others or even yourself, a lot could get done, but with very little heart at times and with very little care at times. And so I want us to be candid that even though Aquarius motto is I know, learning things through experiences is how we know things. So when we experience something and we know for sure something is happening, that could be powerful. It's a powerful moment to say, you know what? I don't have to think anymore. I know for sure. Very powerful. But what can be scary is knowing, and also what can be scary is experiencing, knowing, and also being aware that that doesn't mean anything. And so when Aquarius starts to know that knowing means nothing, it's a very interesting time because again, they're very detached emotionally. So they're not going to imply empathy in that. They're going to hold that, okay, there's a new rule, there's a new trick, there's a new system. I'm going to figure it out. And so ages last over 2,000 years. We're going to die in this age. You hear me? So you got to be real comfortable with the reality that there are so many truths at one time, which is overwhelming mentally, and that there is a detachment from emotion and mental for the next 2,000 years, bitch. Now, I want you to consider we left, if you're born before 2011, which many of you were, we left age of Pisces. And Pisces is I believe. So consider this that, like, while we were in the age of I believe, think of what was created last 2,000 years. Think. We're supposedly in 2025, right? So, what happened in the last 2,000 years? And again, I'm saying the age changed in 2011. Think about what was happening in 2011. Think about what was happening in 2012. Think about what was happening. And just consider we are in the age of I know. And we left the age of I believe. Think about what belief can do. Think about what religion maybe you were born into because other people believed it, you were believing it too. Think about when you might have known it was time for you to believe something different. Again, coming from age of Pisces means that a lot of us have incredible empathy that we did not get to experience. We did not get to experience it, but we were born in that age of belief. And so in the age of I know, it can be really hard because a lot of our elders are from the age of I believe, right? And so a lot of elders are operating the way they are because that's what they believe. And belief can be very scary. Very scary. Think about some of the shit you used to believe, bitch. Think about some of the stuff you used to believe. For real. Think about some of the stuff you used to really think was like it made sense. Now think about it. No, it don't. And why don't it make sense? Because now you know. How did you learn? Probably experienced something. Might have seen someone else experience something. Might have learned. Might have heard. But again, coming from age of Pisces, where we're believing things, a lot of religion, a lot of ways of life, a lot of laws created in that time. Think about amendments. Think about what's happening right now. Think about things rolling back. Think about how we know that's not good. Think about how we know that though. How do we know that the rolling back of Roe v. Wade is bad? Didn't we have information? We did. We knew. Not just we know, we knew. But who wanted us not to know? Who wanted us to operate like we didn't know? But what's worse, what did they use to make us think we didn't know? We have to remember in the age of Aquarius, there's so much information that it's overwhelming. That's why Aquarius people be like that. They see so many things. Aquarius people are not aggy. They're peeping so much bullshit. I promise you. I have an Aquarius mama and I have one Aquarius placement. It's not about being aggy. It's just about that, like, Aquarius energy is where you're paying attention. And again, that feeling, Aquarius, air, but also carrying water, carrying emotion outside the body. Okay, carrying, it's not that there's no emotion, but it's not being held as the law. To know things, you have to be willing to seemingly separate what you feel, right? Or seemingly what you believe. And I think that that's such a beautiful thing. Like when you see, like, the ages are going backwards, by the way. And so Pisces, you see as like two fish kind of swimming in this way. And, Twister, Cyclone, but Aqua is going backwards is carrying that water. And it makes you think about how maybe the fish are swimming inside that water, that knowledge maybe, that desire perhaps to believe, but still holding what we know. And so again, I'm just trying to consider. Yo, I hear you, Meryl Streep. That shit's fucking hard. Not back against the wind, bitch, Meryl. Meryl, listen, it's the way I Googled how many things I can make with potatoes. Bitch, wait, sidebar. On my Instagram story that I'm about to post, there's this person on YouTube who creates these meals that are so delicious, but they're all really cheap. And like recently, they blew me away. They took a bunch of potato chips and cooked them down in butter and cream. And then once that was like cooled, they added it to like flour and added a bunch of seasoning and then like put it in a blender. Then keep in mind there's chips in it, chips, cream, butter, and they cooked it and they put it into a bag, cut a hole in the bag, and then over a pot of boiling water was like squeezing and cutting out little pieces of gnocchi. They made gnocchi out of fucking potato chips. I'm just like, it's like as much as I like hate being alive in this timeline, there's a part of me that's like, you know what? And again, I know, big back, big back. I'm just saying, like, there's just moments where I'm just very much aware that there are people that are poor as fuck and are still trying to figure out what they can do with that. You know what I mean? And I just love it. I appreciate it so much because again, I grew up poor. My mom ain't never made no fucking gnocchi. Like I feel like on the brokest day, I feel like we were eating like a pot of like fucking like goulash. You know what I mean? Or stroganoff. You know what I mean? On the brokest day, we were eating like a bunch of like maybe four pasta sides and some chicken. You know what I mean? Like on the brokest day, we still had food that was like, giving like protein, nutrition, veggies, vegetables. Like there was actual like she would bother to get some fucking broccoli to put in the pasta side, so it would be bussin', it'd be bussin'. But at the same time, I think about how like the older you get, the more you're supposed to be doing certain things, or elevating in a certain way, and how like there are so many YouTube channels that are like, here is how you do this thing, the poverty way. Also, Miss Dark and Lovely, thank you for being kind. I appreciate you. But yeah, no, I'm about to get up out of here. Like I said, I'm gonna come back later and braid my hair. I'm probably do some tarot card readings before I braid my hair. Just because again, we're going to have to wait for this bitch to get motherfucking moist again, bitch. Because the one thing I read was that the type 4 hair, you should never attempt to touch your type 4 hair without adding some sort of water or some sort of moistening agent. Because apparently by playing with type 4 hair when it's in its driest state, you can actually be giving yourself Loki a haircut. And that actually fucked me up. That like you could actually be like cutting off like length in your hair by touching it when it's dry. But that's something that I read that again, I'm just sharing because when I listen to black hair chemists and I hear them talk about type 4 hair, I hear things that I don't hear from other people. I have never heard anybody say anything. Like I heard recently that apparently by letting your hair air dry in type 4 is like a bad thing. You should actually be drying your hair yourself. And it's like, what? Like I would have never thought like manipulating your hair to make it dry in a certain time frame is better than letting it air dry. I would have never thought that. So again, learning about my natural hair has been such a helpful thing. And also being able to share that information with other folks has been helpful as well. Because again, I recently saw that girl who went viral for talking about having type 4 hair and being a lighter skinned person. And it was an awkward video because again, like when us mixed people talk about our hair, we do not consider like the gravity of the conversation. Um, Again, because of the lack of privilege or because of the privilege that we have in other areas, we're not really considering all the time, like how when we speak on type 4 hair, people are really looking to us to see, not necessarily looking to us, but just like listening to hear like, are we on some anti-black shit? Are we on some texturous shit? And I'm hearing that as well. I definitely think that in the past, like I've definitely said things about my hair that I do wish that I wouldn't have said, but at the same time, I do want to hold space for the fact that that was my truth. That's how I was feeling in the moment, and while I wish I would have said things better, I do want to hold that like there's going to be times where us mixed people say things about our type of hair that is off as fuck, and I'm hoping that folks within community will talk to us and not make it a thing where other folks who are black who feel the need to take ownership or do some labor on our behalf. I don't think that that's necessary, but I have seen in the recent past, a lot of us mixed light skin people just being really candid about how we're not happy with our hair. And unfortunately, our lack of happiness with our hair has a history that we're not talking about. And as I said earlier, my mom did treat my hair like it was a battle. My mom did treat my hair like it wasn't worth spending money to care for properly. And so, because of that, I think I did grow up into an adult who felt like, you know what? I can throw on a wig and get treated better and also not have to deal with my hair that my mother hates and society is not celebrating in me or other people. And so, as more and more of us mixed people are embracing our natural hair and are talking candidly, I think it makes sense for us to consider that the way we feel about our hair has been influenced by white supremacy and also perhaps having a white parent who just never really cared that much about us, having a self image that was thriving and was considering the ways that we could be invoking anti blackness by simply not having all the information, or worse, having the wrong information. And so, while I don't think that my hair is a battle, I do want to have empathy for anybody out there who is taking care of their hair full time and knowing good and goddamn well they did not get all the information that they fucking needed from their parent and from the world. Because again, as I was saying earlier, there's so much information coming out around so many black beauty care and hair products being laden with things that can harm black people, and just the ways that that news is not just devastating because it's like health related, but it's also devastating because that means that everyone that has pack hair they've been saving for summer, it's contam. That means everyone that's has, braiding hair in their hair right now may be feeling anxiety and distress. There's layers to this conversation that I fear people may not have the empathy to hold. And so that's why I'm trying to just be mindful that how I feel about my hair is impacting how I treat my hair and how I treat myself. And so I am trying to remind myself that my hair is a part of me. It's alive. It's feeling the things I'm feeling. It's going through the shit I'm going through. And there are times where me and my hair, we are at odds, bitch. And it's not because my hair did anything wrong. It's not. It's because maybe I don't have enough time to do the style I may want to do. And maybe because I am not considering that my hair just needs to be left the fuck alone today, despite the fact that I don't want to. Like, there are times where I may not want to listen to my hair, even though she's communicating. So I'm trying to remember that like there's layers to why we're doing what we're doing, and there's so much intelligence when we listen. And so I'm trying to remember that my hair be telling me stuff when I touch my hair, when I check on her physically. She's telling me something. When I look at her in the video, she's telling me something. And again, will I listen or will I use white supremacy goggles to look at her? Will I, listen to white supremacy in order to listen to her? Will I, hold her, where she is? Or will I try to move her and shift her so that she can fit in certain rooms when that's not necessary for her? But is it necessary for me? Those are things that we have to ask ourselves. And this is just to say that, will I never wear a wig? No, that's silly. Wigs are fun. And I think that that's another layer to this conversation, is that like we forget that wigs and weaves and playing around with your aesthetic is fun. That's why people do it. It's not just for the privilege that we're capitalizing on. I'm not going to say it's not just for that. I'm not going to say it's not just for that, because some people do really think about that a lot. But I will say that it's usually not just for that. I'll say that usually people are wanting to have fun. I feel like it's fun to like look like a fairy, or it's fun to like do an all white look where your hair is white, your eyes are white. Like I've seen people do the most interesting things with their hair and have a good time. But again, how much do we offer people the space to just have a good time with their hair? How often do we allow people to just, exist, especially when they're not white? I'm not seeing a lot of people being offered the space to experiment and have fun. Everything's tied to trying to look like or emulate or assimilate. And again, what does it look like to be living outside of the white gaze? What does it look like for you to look at me and to notice that I'm, or what does it mean to ask someone to look at us as we're wanting to be looked at? What does it look like to be actualizing? What does it look like? Gnocchi is potato, but bitch, with the Pringles though. Or not the Pringles, they use Lay's, but I feel like Pringles could work too. But still, I am shook. I am shook as hell. But again, I do think that when it comes down to it, having access to change your look costs money, and to hear that you're spending money, and to find out that we're in a timeline where having buying beauty supply products or buying hair, like those things being linked to sickness or lack of health, like that's terrifying. So again, I'm trying to hold that there's so much information coming out and we're learning all the time about ops and weirdos and people doing fucked up things in black spaces. And again, I don't expect anybody to want to hear that shit from me or want to hear that shit from my platform. But I do think that when I hear shit like this, like when I hear about the anti-blackness and the misogyny war in the beauty community, or even in medical racism spaces or spaces in the medical field where like there is medical racism unfolding, I think about the ways that there are just not enough conversations around what that looks like to be hearing that and a participant. So again, I'm not trying to fuck anybody up, but I know that I may have, and I'm sorry about that. Truly, I do think that sometimes when we share information, we gotta just remember some people don't want to hear this shit from you. So with that being said, I'm sorry for distressing people. And telling anybody about this, and I'm genuinely sorry. It was not my desire, my intention, but I do want to focus on the impact and be candid. That I feel like when I come back, my desire is to keep it cute, not talk about all the things, and do some tarot card readings and just have a more social time. But it wasn't my spirit to share what I found because, again, as I said, I have friends that are thinking about going back into perms, people who are talking about doing a text lax. And again, I used to have them. I used to have them when I was a kid. And I'm grateful that that stopped. But again, the ways that people will just say, you know what? I don't know how to do your hair. And so now I'm going to put something on your hair to make it easier for me to do. And just the ways that people are looking for ease with your body. Oof, oof, I don't know. It just goes back to the convo about people's hair being a battle and just feeling like some people think the only fix is medical. The only fix is literally like a surgery. Like I consider perm like surgical. Because again, like you need a lot, like to be doing it ethically, you need a lot of fucking things around to make sure nothing bad happens. And that doesn't even mean anything. And then the ways that people think the burning means their hair will be extra straight, when it's like that could actually be like something medically unfolding on your scalp. But nope, it burned. So the hair is going to be extra assimilated to the culture that it needs to be. It's frustrating, but again, I don't want to make it seem like getting a perm is something that's never happened to me. I didn't get to consent, and I think that again, we're talking about people consenting to a perm versus people who didn't get the consent. I think that's a whole other conversation because some people didn't get to ask. Like some people never were asked, like, "Do you want me to kind of straighten your hair?" Some people did though. There are some younger people who did ask for a perm, and so we have to also hold that some people were not just consenting; they were excited. And again, who was talking about the medical statistics? But again, now that we are, there's still people who are like, you know what? And I think that that's another conversation, one that I don't necessarily need to be having. Because again, it has nothing to do with me, but I'm trying to offer that for the people out there that did have a history of having perms done to them without any of their consent. You know, we we're always hearing information about how, oh, getting perms is linked to this or that sickness or health condition. Oh, and having to again just hold it. So I think again I share it because I want folks to know. And again, there's class action lawsuits all the time. Who knows? Maybe you're owed money, babe. Like that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Like who knows who's owed money, who's owed support, care. Like I know a lot of things are coming out about a lot of brands, and so one thinks that like these hair companies as well are about to be going through something. And again, like what does that look like to be supporting these places and this hair? And then again, of course, there's all these hypoallergenic hair communities coming out, all these people making vegan hair, and I'm just like, whoa, or just non-synthetic fibrous hairs that are cancerous, and it's like, wow, whoa, I don't know. Uh, it's wild. It's wild. Getting information is great, but there's just some information that really fucking takes your breath away and really makes you think about, damn, we're doing a lot. We're doing a lot out here, and these corporations are just really profiting until somebody does a class action lawsuit. It seems so strange. Why even create something like that? Hmm. Anyways, I appreciate y'all for listening. Thank you for hanging out with me. I feel so hydrated and moisturized. Like shout out to shea butter, honestly. Like shea butter and coconut oil. I never felt more soft in my life. Anyways, I'll see you later tonight.